Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. It's Divine Destiny here. If you're new here, welcome. Today we're going to be talking about, can Christians listen to secular music? I'm just going to dive right into it and let you know. The answer is no. The answer is straight up no. You cannot listen to secular music. You can't. You just can't. You have a choice, but understand how great the consequences are of your choices, because no matter what, whether you understand the consequences of your actions or not, saying that I didn't know is not an excuse when it comes to Judgment Day. So I just want everybody to know that. When it comes to listening to secular music, you have to understand your eyes and your ears, they are the gates to your soul. So, and your mouth. You ever seen the thing, hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil? Technically, those are all the gates of the soul. So when you're listening to secular music, you are basically opening up the gates to your soul for those things to come in and affect your life. So if you are, let's say you're listening to rap music that's all about sex, and then you're watching porn, and then, you know what I'm saying, you're saying terrible things out of your mouth because of what you're hearing and what you're seeing. That all affects your life, and it all affects your life for the worst. And it causes destruction in your life. And in turn, when you open the gates of your soul to those things, you're going to start to do those things. You're going to start to want to fornicate. You're going to start to want to dabble in sexual immorality and things, because you're opening up your soul to this. That's another thing. Like if you're watching things about smoking cigarettes and are doing drugs, you know, rap music nowadays is all about sex, drugs, and money. If you're opening up the gates to your soul to that, that's all the things that you're going to be about. That's all the things you're going to talk about. That's all the things you're going to think about, because this is the gates to your soul. The ears, you're hearing it, so now you're starting to think about it. You're seeing it, now you're starting to think about it. When you're thinking about it, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So when you see these things and you hear these things, you'll start to say these things and talk about them, because that's what's in your heart now. You opened up your heart to those things, the sinful things of the world. Secular music opens up doors to sins of the world and demonic things in the world. So when you're listening to secular music about sex, drugs, and money, that's going to be what your life is going to be about. That's exactly what your life is going to be about, because you're changing the contents of your heart basically into those types of things. So and another example, the baby boomers. Everybody wants to say that the reason why the baby boomers became a thing is because of people coming back from war. But if you think about it, the first war, there wasn't, hold on. If you think about it, after World War I happened, there was not nearly as many births after World War I. There wasn't. So what was the difference between World War I and World War II? After World War II, the government, the media started pushing out propaganda about babies, about having children, about being pregnant, about basically putting billboards. They had billboards up all the time back then. They would put billboards up about having children. They would put commercials, a bunch of commercials about having children. And then not only that, they put them in magazines. They put it in comic books. They put it everywhere. Basically, they flooded the media all around them. TV shows, new TV shows would talk about it, everything. They flooded everything with, that was the agenda back then. They flooded everything, all of the media, with things about having children. Everyone wants to say, no, it had nothing to do with propaganda. It had nothing to do with programming. Everyone wants to say that it had nothing to do with programming. It had everything to do with the fact that people came back from a war and they thought they were going to die. But what's the difference between World War I and World War II? World War I, they thought they were going to die too. World War II, they thought they were going to die. What's the difference? The difference is the fact that the media pushed out propaganda about people having children. They forced that on the people. And what are the gates of your soul? Your ears, your eyes, and your mouth. Those are the gates of your soul. So if you are seeing, if you're hearing things about having children constantly, and you're seeing it constantly, think about it. After that show, I don't know if anyone knows about the show Teen Mom. After that show came out, there was an influx of people who started having children at a young age. Because why? They watched it. They watched people, they watched teenagers having kids at a young age. So they were watching it constantly and they were hearing it. So they ended up wanting to be teen moms. Why was there an influx of children who were having sex before marriage after they started teaching children about sex ed? Why did that happen? The reason why that happened was kids are in school more than they're with their parents at night, because most of the time parents will work. So think about it. Your kids go to school and they're hearing about this stuff. They're hearing about sex education at a young age. And then later they're taught this stuff. And then later they end up doing it because they're hearing it and they're seeing it. They're seeing it in the books. They have to learn it. They have to take tests on it. So, and they're hearing it from the teacher teaching them. So then later they're doing it. These are things that happen. That's how programming works. For example, they don't put cigarettes. Back then, they weren't putting stores that sell cigarettes next to white schools. They were not doing that because they didn't want young white kids to smoke, but they put them all around the black schools. They put stores where people were smoking. They had people standing outside smoking a cigarette. You know what I'm saying? They had propaganda all around the schools about cigarettes and smoking and doing drugs. And lo and behold, the children saw that as they were walking home from school all the time. As they were walking home from school every day, as they were as they were on the bus, they would see propaganda everywhere about smoking. And lo and behold, the children started smoking. They wanted to do that to the black children in schools, in the cities, because they wanted to destroy the black community. And I still think they still want to do that now, but I'm not even going to go into that. But programming is a real thing, and the government knows that. So how they tested that out was through the baby boomers. They know that if they wanted to experiment, if they show you a bunch of things about having children, will you start to have children? Can you program the human mind to do that? And the thing is, spiritually, it's always been a thing. If you open up your mind to the sins of this world, if you open up your eyes, your ears, and you start to say, just like how it says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. There's another one. There's another scripture about a good tree can't bear bad fruit, and a bad tree can't bear good fruit. If you open up the gates of your soul to those things, if you speaking life and speaking death over your life, These are all things that matter. When you speak life, life will happen. And when you speak death, death will happen. You see and hear everything about having children. Then you start to speak it. Then over time, it will happen. It's the gates of the soul. The Bible talks about the gates of the soul. Some people don't know that. So they'll allow their children to listen to music, secular music, and they'll allow their babies to listen to like Sexy Red and things like that. And you have them dancing and doing all that stuff. But that's the thing. You're opening up the gates of your child's soul to these things. And when they get older and they start to do these things and you wonder why they turned out the way that they did, understand that you opened up doors for them when they were young. When they were little kids, you opened up those doors. There was no other reason as to why you can't blame anybody else but yourself for that at that point, because you opened up their soul to this. So yeah, when you open up your soul to things, it will happen. Because not only that, but God gave us the power to trample over scorpions and trample over serpents with our mouth. So you see things and you hear things, okay? You'll start to think about it and then you'll start to say it. When you start to say it, it will happen because you're speaking life and death. That is how it works. The Bible talks about it, but also it was practiced in real time. The baby boomers is a real thing. The birth rate, the birth boom did not happen until World War II. It never happened in World War I. They still went to war in World War I. They still could have died in World War I. That's not the reason why there was a huge boom. It was because of the propaganda. The gates of the people's soul at the time were open to all of those things. That's the reason why they were able. That's the reason why all of that happened. That's the reason why the baby boom happened. People were watching TV. People were listening to the radio. They had little radios. You know what I'm saying? Like, kids would be inside, and it's not like they had the little Walkman, the little iPads and everything. So now it's even easier to get to the gates of your soul, because now you have media everywhere, on your phone, on your tablet, everywhere. You know, they still have billboards, but they don't even have to really use the billboards anymore because we stare at our phones all the time. So if you're seeing everything about babies, you're hearing everything about babies, you're gonna want to have babies. You're seeing everything about drugs, sex, and money. Your whole life is gonna be based around drugs, sex, and money. So my thing is why a Christian should never, ever listen to, I'm just going to say never. No, never, ever. Never, ever. Okay? Don't do it. Why a Christian should never listen to secular music is because you're opening up the gates of your soul to those things. And soon when you fall short of the glory of God because of those things, because you're opening doors to the gates of your soul for these demons, because these are happening, it will cause you to fall. It'll cause you to fall. And when you fall, you got to understand where the source came from. I'm just trying to help you. This is where the source came from. It's because you opened up your soul you opened up the gates to your soul to secular music. You know what I'm saying? So when you watch shows about God, when you watch movies about God, when you're watching videos about God, when you're scrolling and all you're seeing is stuff about God, scriptures, Bible, how to fast. These are all things that strengthen the spirit. And these are all things that are good for your soul. So why I think a Christian should not listen to secular music is because your main focus will not be on God. It will be on secular things. Make sense? It'll be on secular things. You want to focus on God, especially right now during the end times. So you want to be listening to gospel music nonstop. You want to be watching videos about God nonstop. You want to be learning how to pray nonstop and reading your Bible nonstop, you know? Things like that all around you. And when you have children, you want to do the same. You build them up in the spirit, you know, they won't turn away from God. You have to build them up as little kids. Build them up in the faith, and they won't turn from him. So that's why, and I know a lot of people will be like, well, that's kind of weird to only allow your child to listen to gospel music. But the thing is like, what's the alternative? Because if it were up to you, you would have my child listening to Bounce That's Like Your Friend. Or you would have my child listening to things about drugs, Bootylicious from, you know, the Destiny's Child and things. Like, that's the alternative, though. That's what they would be listening to if it were up to you. Because, and how is it weird? And here, you got to hear what other people are saying. How is it weird? What is so weird and so terrible about you learning about God and being focused on God? What's the terrible thing about it? The fact that you would be strengthening your spirit, the fact that you would have a love for the Lord, a love for the Bible, a want to have a better relationship with him. You'll better your life. It's all good things. There's nothing but good things. But apparently they see, apparently people of the world see nothing but bad things about listening to gospel music and being all about God. If you're all about God, the world hates you. It's very evident. Because even someone saying that, you know, they only allow their child to listen to Christian music, and they sign their children up for Catholic schools or Christian schools that teach about God and don't teach sex ed. People will say that you're a terrible person and that's weird. That's a red flag. That's not a red flag for my child to learn about God. If I have a child, it is not a red flag for them to learn about God. It's not a red flag because it betters their spirit. It makes them, it strengthens their spirit. The spiritual war, I want everyone to know, spiritual warfare is going to happen either way. Whether you know about it or not, demons are out there. They're going to try to come after you either way. Whether you know about it, it doesn't really matter. It's not going to stop them from coming after you. It's not going to stop them from giving you bad dreams, from sending you dreams about like doing terrible things. It's not going to stop. So whether you know about it or not, it doesn't matter. So it's better that you know now. It's better that you know so that you can prepare yourself for spiritual warfare. How do you prepare yourself for spiritual warfare? Reading the Bible, being all about God, focusing on God, focusing on scriptures, studying to show yourself approved. Like all of these things are important. Because like I said, either way, it's gonna happen. Like you can't stop it. Like either way, like people could still be trying to put spells, you know what I'm saying? To do all kinds of demonic things to you. And people are openly talking about being witches. You know what I'm saying? Ariana Grande is literally talking about being a witch. Do you think that she's joking around? There's actual witchcraft that people practice. Santeria, like it's all in places like Haiti and places like Africa, you know what I'm saying? Even in the Caribbean, you know what I'm saying? And even here, hoodoo. That's a real thing. People are practicing witchcraft like that. All of these things are real. There was a lady online just recently who put chicken blood in her hair and then she handpicked a person to wash the blood out of her hair. And her child died the next day. Like, I mean, witchcraft is real. It's a legitimate thing. So if we know this, understand, whether you know or not, or whether you want to acknowledge it or not, it's not going to stop for you. So it's better that you know it and have an understanding. And when you put God everywhere, all over, in your house, in your, you know, in the things that you look up on the internet, and in the things that you look up on YouTube or anywhere, when you're focusing all the gates of your soul, when you're opening it up only to things that pertain to God, when you're opening up your spirit to things that pertain to God, you are strengthening your spirit. You're strengthening your spirit against the evil that wants to come after you. The things that will come after you either way, whether you know it or not. God is the only way that you will be able to be protected from these things. So, I mean, if I'm trying to prepare my child, okay, for spiritual warfare, I'm doing it from a young age. He's learning Psalms 23 at like the age of 5. He's knowing that by heart, guys. I don't care. He's practicing it every single day. What? When he gets older, when he's like 10 or 11, he's going to know Psalms 91. He or she will know Psalms 91. They're going to know these Psalms 35, Psalms 109. Like, they're going to know these things. They're going to know Noah's Ark. I'm gonna be getting the Bible books, everything. Yeah, because these are the things. These are important. All of these things are important. You have to, if you're gonna open up the gates to your soul to anything, it needs to be things pertaining to God and the Bible. That's the point of this. That's the point of this whole video. If you're gonna open up the gates of your soul, open the gates of your soul to the things that pertain to God and the Bible. You should be fasting. You should be praying. These are the things. These are the things that all pertain to God. You have to focus on these things. And it's not crazy that I don't want to listen to Beyonce. It's not crazy that I don't want to listen to freaking, I don't know, Lil Wayne. Who else? NBA Youngboy. It's not. I'm not crazy for not wanting to listen to songs about drugs, sex, and money. I'm not crazy. Honestly, it's crazy the fact that you think I should have to listen to this garbage. It's crazy that you would allow your child to listen to Sexy Red. I think that's crazy. You think I'm crazy, but you are literally allowing your child to listen, and you might as well, bro. I'm not even gonna say that. That's like, I'm not even gonna say. That's such a terrible thing to think, but you're opening up the doors for your child to be corrupted, and I'm opening up the doors for if I'm surrounding a child with nothing but Christian music. You know, they're going to church every Sunday. We do communion. We're, you know what I'm saying? We're worshiping. We set aside a day. We set a day aside. Sorry, we set a day aside. Not just Sunday, but other days throughout the week to worship God. I don't think that that's me being crazy. I think that that's me preparing my family for spiritual warfare and preparing them for all the terrible things in this world that will come for us either way. It's coming for you either way. Just know that. But anyways, guard the gates of your soul, your eyes, your ears, and the things that you say. Be cautious of the things that you say, because when you speak death over people, even something as small as, like, you know, you're speaking death over the child in your womb. Things like that will affect the child. Things like that will affect your baby. It's a spiritual thing. We are a soul in flesh. It's a spiritual thing. These are things that are important. You have to guard the gates of your soul to protect yourself from all of these terrible things in this world. But anyways, like, comment, share, subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Please leave a comment down below what you think. Do you think it's crazy that, you know, some people only listen to gospel music? Because I'm telling you right now, I only got my channel. In my car, I only got it on gospel channel. On the gospel channel. And there's even certain gospel singers that I won't even listen to. Like people like Kirk Franklin, I'm not listening to him at all. That he's made, I'm not even going to talk about it, but yeah. There's even certain gospel singers I won't listen to. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below what you guys think and what kind of music you guys listen to. Like, comment, share, subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.